2021 was a disheartening deer season for us. We lost access to our main deer hunting property shortly before the season. The owner passed away and the new owner didn't want to renew the lease. And just like that, all that planning and preparation went right down the drain. The thought of going all fall without fresh venison didn't seem appealing either, so we decided to focus our efforts on our other property, which is mainly suited for hunting pigs. But there are some deer there, and we did have our opportunities, but for one reason or another, just never could close the deal. For whatever reason, it started to feel like it just wasn't meant to be, and that's why we were so excited to get a call from our friends over at Blackstock Clothing who offered us access to this awesome piece of property. But still, hunting on a great piece of land where you have no experience and very little intel can still be a challenge.
I mean, you come walking through that thicket where you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. You walk in these woods and it is just the most beautiful stretch of open hardwoods that you can imagine in here. It is just a gorgeous piece of property. I am so excited to hunt this, and I'm so grateful that I get the chance to do it. I'm on the edge of open hardwoods and a cutover into a field full of soybeans. Man, this just looks right. I mean, it looks all kinds of right. That's if this guy behind me will turn off this leaf blower.
I got to see a bunch of wildlife on this property, including some deer that turned up just before dark, but they were just outside of bow range. It was getting so late in the season at this point, I figured I had about one more hunt left in me, and I was getting desperate. It was just before Christmas, and I got the unexpected chance on a favorable wind to go back down to the pig club for one more sit, and I was in a hurry.
Show you how discombobulated I am getting down here this late in the year without having a buck on the ground. I rushed out of the house to get down here to my spot. I got everything apart from my hunting pants, but I remembered my long johns. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Turns out it's a good thing I hurried that afternoon because I hadn't been in my stand for 30 seconds and had just pulled my gun up into my lap when I started hearing the rustling of leaves and the cracking of sticks off in the distance. There came a doe right across the creek. And guess who she had in tow coming right behind her?
I'm not even set. Like, I still only have one glove on. Look, here's the other one. So the climber strategy worked. I brought my climber in, came in from a different way on this wind, and set up. I'm exactly opposite where my tree stand's been, and that buck has busted me twice this season in that other tree stand. Once with me and Sam, once just by myself. So I flipped it. He didn't even glance up this way. Now let me go see if I actually hit this deer. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for an opportunity. It's been about 40 minutes. I think I made a good shot. I don't think I need to wait any longer. I'm gonna get up here and see if I can't pick up some blood. We could use a win. We're due for some good news. Bingo.
Man, I'm ecstatic. The only things I'm disappointed about is Sammy wasn't here today, but I'm happy to have him. Thrilled. And smaller buck, but actually one of his tines is broken off, like probably from fighting earlier in the season. I'm sure he probably lost that fight. But you never pull the trigger unless you're going to be really happy with what's on the other end. And man, I'm thrilled. I'm very happy. I'm grateful. It came down to, once again, blood trail ran out and had to have that thermal. I saw a heat signature about the size of looked like a rabbit, and he was in some thick stuff, buddy. One of these days, I'm gonna get one of those winches to put on the back of here. I was exhausted from hunting a long season and freezing cold from dropping temperatures and hunting half naked. So I was grateful for the old golf ball method to skin this deer in just a couple of minutes, leaving no hair on the meat. It's as simple as you see here and have this deer ready for the kitchen in no time. There are a lot of different ways to cook a venison roast. Naturally, your first instinct might be to reach for your crock pot, and a lot of people might not have ever thought to do this in a pressure cooker. Having just come by a stock of fresh venison, I decided I was going to try it both ways, side by side with the exact same ingredients and see which one tasted the best.
Trimming's done. This roast looks absolutely awesome. All we need to do now, season it, sear it, then we're ready to cook.
As far as the seasonings go, we like to keep it pretty simple. Salt, pepper, and a little bit of your favorite seasoning. In this case, we're using PS Seasoning Wild Game. For both the crock pot and the pressure cooker, we're going to use the same assortment of vegetables to go with it. We're going to start with some finely chopped onions, sliced potatoes, the green ends of scallions finely chopped, a couple of carrots peeled, halved long ways, and then cut into quarters. Of course, there's no way I'm doing this without a few cloves of thinly sliced garlic. Mix it all together, set it aside. Because venison's so lean, I'll take about a half a pack of bacon cut into 1-inch cubes to keep some fat in the cook. I typically like to line the pan in peanut oil when I'm searing meat because of the high smoke point, and you want this pan as hot as you can get it. Press the meat against the sides and use the sides of the pan to help you sear the edges of meat. Make sure you sear it on all sides and ends before you set it aside to rest.
This is going to help seal that meat, keep the juices in, and keep it really tender as it goes through the cooking process.
Since cooking in the crock pot is the slower of the two methods, we're going to go ahead and get started there first.
Now I'm ready to throw everything into the crock pot. I'm going to use 1 carton of beef stock. This is the one area where I might vary just a little bit with the Instant Pot. I may not use quite as much beef stock in the Instant Pot, but because I've got a bigger crock pot, I do want to use a little bit more liquid than all of our vegetables and our meat. Cover it, cook on low, 6 hours. Let's see how we do. I almost forgot. We're going to add 2 cups of a dry red cooking wine to the mixture and then let it go.
A few hours later.
All right, so it's getting close to go time. So now we're gonna throw in our roast into the Instant Pot over here. And the one difference with this is that we're going to sear the meat in the Instant Pot. I'm also gonna kind of saute and brown up the onions in the pot, makes less dishes, adds to the flavor. Come on, let's go. Looks good, smells good in here already.
Now we're gonna add a half a carton of beef broth, and this is about 16 ounces worth, in our same 2 cups of dry red cooking wine. Add back in our assortment of vegetables and our chunks of bacon.
Let's go ahead and add all the sauteed onions that we just took out. How could this possibly be bad? Now we're gonna seal this up and we're gonna pressure cook this for, let's go for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Put the pressure cooker on the right, crock pot on the left. Let these rest for just a couple of minutes, cut them up, see how we did. Look at all the juice just shooting out as soon as I touch it. Perfect. Still tender, cooked all the way through. Looks nice. Color in these looks about the same. I wonder if one of them is more tender than the other. Like, I'm not even cutting it. I just touch it with the knife and it's like it's falling apart. So stinking tender. I love them both. Personally, I'm a little bit partial to the pressure cooker. Both of these are awesome. I'm a little bit torn. I'm gonna have to get somebody else in here and help me taste test these things and see which one they like better. I won't tell them which one came from which cooking method though.
Oh, you like that one?
Which one do you like, A or B?
No, I think I like both of them. Give me another try here.
Regardless of which pot it came out of, one of my favorite things to do is to add some of the juice from the pot and make it more like a stew.
Guys, whatever you have available to you, whether it's a crock pot or an Instant Pot, try this recipe out. You almost can't screw it up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button. We sure do appreciate it. It sure does help us out. Hope to see you guys next time. God bless you.